America's diseased, rotten to the core. There's no saving it. We need to pull it out by the roots. Wipe the slate clean. Burn it down! And from the ashes, a new America will be born! Evolved, but unchained! The weak will be purged, and the strongest will thrive, free to live as they see fit. They'll make America great again!
What the hell are you talking about?
Before Donald Trump, there was someone else who wanted to make America great again. It's the bold, absolutely ridiculous, yet unforgettable battle cry of one of the most larger-than-life villains in gaming history, Senator Steven Armstrong. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance, to unpack who Armstrong really was. Not just the meme, but the character, the man, the megalomaniac, and the political heavyweight with enough raw strength to punch a cyborg ninja into the ground. From his creation at Platinum Games, to his intense final battle with Raiden, to the deeper and surprisingly complex ideology that fuels him, we're covering it all. So buckle up, this is the full story of Senator Steven Armstrong.
Why won't you die?
Nanomachines, son! They harden in response to physical trauma.
Armstrong was the brainchild of director Kenji Saito, who wanted a villain that could embody a key question in the Metal Gear universe. What happens when human enhancement surpasses even advanced cybernetics? We'd seen hints before, like Vamp in Metal Gear Solid 2, but Armstrong's nanomachines were on another level. They weren't just in him, they were him. They gave him absurd strength, instant regeneration, and even the ability to harden his skin to absorb the impact of sword strikes and rocket blasts. Character designer Yonghee Cho initially wanted Armstrong to look sharp and intelligent, but the dev team decided he needed to look like the type of guy who could physically break a cyborg in half. That's why we ended up with his towering frame, massive forehead, and that exaggerated chin. The final design had a specific visual twist. When his nanomachines activate, his body bulks up, his veins bulge, and his skin darkens in those hardened areas. Early concepts even had those areas glowing blood red, but the team changed it to black for a more menacing look. In Japanese, Armstrong was voiced by the legendary Unsho Ishizuka, known for roles like Jet Black in Cowboy Bebop. In English, Alistair Duncan brought Armstrong to life, despite not even knowing at first that he was playing the main villain.
Let's go!
The hell are you thinking?
Steven Armstrong was born in Texas, a high school JROTC cadet who went on to become quarterback for the University of Texas football team. His football career ended when he joined the US Navy to serve his country, although he never saw actual combat. Eventually, he settled in Colorado and entered politics. As a state senator, he was ruthless in budget cuts, privatizing the police force and handing over control of the Denver PD to the private military giant, World Marshal. From there, Armstrong's political career skyrocketed all the way to the US Senate. And behind the scenes, he was quietly funding PMCs like World Marshal and Desperado, using them to stir up conflict for his own ends. In Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance, Armstrong operates in the shadows for most of the game, but he's always pulling the strings. Through Desperado and World Marshal, Armstrong orchestrates terrorist acts to spark international tension. His ultimate plan: stage a war with Pakistan, jumpstart the US economy, and ride the wave straight into the White House. We finally see him in full during the game's climax. He emerges in the cockpit of Metal Gear Excelsus, a massive hexapedal mech. Raiden takes it down, but Armstrong survives, revealing the twist. He's not just a big guy, he's a nanomachine-powered juggernaut. What follows is one of gaming's most intense final battles.
You're right about one thing. I do need capital and votes. Wanna know why? I have a dream!
What?
Armstrong tries to convince Raiden to join him, revealing his true philosophy. America is rotten. War as a business must end, by using war as a business to destroy the old order. His vision is a social Darwinist utopia where only the strong survive. Raiden refuses, and the two trade brutal blows, Armstrong even overpowering him at points. But with the help of Sam's sword, Raiden lands the killing strike, tearing out Armstrong's heart in one of the most dramatic finishes in gaming history. And in his final moments, Armstrong doesn't curse Raiden, he respects him, even naming him a successor of sorts.
What the hell are you all?
We could use a man like you, Sam. Organized violence, waging war as business. We're gonna put an end to all that bullshit.
In the Jetstream DLC, we see Armstrong recruiting Sam. The fight between them is fierce, Armstrong even hurling helicopters as weapons. Sam ultimately loses but agrees to work with him, setting the stage for the events of the main game. This DLC gives us a better sense of Armstrong's charisma. He doesn't just win fights, he convinces people to follow him, even people who originally wanted him dead. Armstrong is more than his fists. He's a politician with an extreme nationalist streak, wrapped in a cynical view of humanity. He believes the American dream has been corrupted, that people fight wars they don't believe in, and that the only way forward is to tear down the weak so the strong can thrive. It's not hard to see why people draw parallels to real-world political figures, most notably Donald Trump. But Armstrong's philosophy goes even further, leaning into survival of the fittest ideology. Despite his arrogance, Armstrong respects strength, physical or ideological. That's why he sees Raiden as a kindred spirit, even in defeat.
Where every man is free to think, to act for himself. Fuck all these lunatic lawyers and chicken shit bureaucrats. Fuck this 24/7 internet spew of trivia and celebrity bullshit. Fuck American pride. Fuck the media. Fuck all of it!
Since 2013, Armstrong has taken on a life of his own online. His fight, his quotes, and especially his lines about nanomachines have been memed endlessly. But underneath the internet jokes, Armstrong remains a fascinating villain. A man whose methods are brutal, but whose goals, in a twisted way, make a strange kind of sense. Critics and fans praise his boss battle as one of the best in the series, both for its gameplay and its thematic weight. Senator Steven Armstrong isn't just a villain, he's a force of nature, a collision of absurd power, political cynicism, and unforgettable personality. In the end, his nanomachines made him nearly unstoppable, but it was his ideas, his charisma, and his sheer presence that made him one of gaming's most iconic antagonists. Whether you see him as a madman, a visionary, or just the most meme-worthy senator in history, one thing's for sure. Armstrong will be remembered, not just in the halls of Congress, but in the annals of gaming legend. Thanks for watching, and remember, it has to be this way.
You still don't get it. I'm using war as a business to get elected! So I can end war as a business. In my new America, people will die and kill for what they believe!